Okay, today I'm just going to show you some things with tiles, and we're going to do tile replacement on this one, and I'll show you why, even though when you look at that tile it looks okay, it needs replacement. On this section of roof anyway, what happened was he had an electrician out and took some tiles off, and he left the tiles off, so his ceiling collapsed the other day. So while we were out, we noticed a few things wrong with his tiles, and we're just going to address them today. I will show you. So you can see the underside, he's put some plastic up. The whole ceiling collapsed on him, and the poor fella had a flood in his house. So what I had to do was, he only had 2 tiles on site at the time, so I replaced the 2. And I'm just going to show you why. When I did, 3 of the tiles really needed replacing, but I did in fact seal this one together. Please forgive me, I'm using one hand here. Okay, so I was forced to really seal these 2 together. And the reason being, what you got to watch with tiles, okay, is, see that underlip there, okay? That is actually responsible for running some of the water off. So what had happened is somebody had walked on it, cracked off enough of the underlip that anything that got in these gaps here doesn't run down onto the next tile. So it'll run down and drip into the ceiling. I'll show you how that works. So there you go. If you imagine that tile was in place like so, and it sits there, you can see the line where it's been sitting, that one would come over. Now the thing is, on some tiled roofs you can never find leaks, but the problem is this breaks off. So what happens is, as the water runs down and it gets in this groove, or through heavy rain it gets in this groove, it'll drop off there and into the roof. Now you can imagine, when that tile is in place like so, obviously without the silicone, people get up and they look across their tiles and they go, there's nothing wrong with my roof, I can't understand why it's leaking. That will be your reason, okay? It will be simply that it's dropping out off from underneath. Now this tile actually is seaward side, and we're probably less than a K from the ocean. So that is why we need to replace those tiles today. So there you have it, the new tile in place. Now it'll run it down, drop it onto the next one, which will run it down, drop it onto the next one. So it's just a matter of now pulling that down, and that'll be good to go. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed, so that's why it's difficult. And I'll nip those a little bit closer together. So if you find you've got a leak in an area of your roof and everything looks good, just make sure you slide those tiles forward and back and just check your under edges, because if they're cracked, then you can end up in some trouble. Now it can be cracked at the bottom or at the top. All right, so just having a look from underneath. See, that one there's looking to be a problem. Let's check him. This is the easiest way to check it. And you can see that one there drops into the roof. So that one will be a replacement as well. And look, the easiest way is just go along your roof and check them like that if you're getting lots of leaks. So there you go. I just moved that slightly to the side with the screwdriver, and you can see there's another problematic tile. So I'll replace that one. So just quickly, as I look up there, I don't know whether you can see it, but I can see under these like that. Okay, I can put a finger. So all I'm doing is I'm checking that that corner falls onto that tile. It does have a little bit of a tolerance to have the little end bit broken off, and it looks like they're all okay down here. But I will get up and check the very top. This one, see how it drops onto the tile? So that one's still okay, even though it's got a little crack. So that one's okay. It's if they're missing the top of that tile, or it's really close, the tolerance is too close. So just checking these two, they are just okay. Now you probably wonder why it is predominantly this row, which is closer to the wall. And the reason for that is, under there is what's called secret gutter. And what it does is it actually lifts this side of the tile slightly. So if somebody walks on this side of the tile, it just pushes down and just slightly takes off that edge. So it's a little bit at fault of whoever walks on the tiles as well, has to be aware of that. That the weight at which they're putting on the tiles is not even. Here's one that's cracked at the top. You can clearly see it's going to leak, so we'll replace that one as well. When you're replacing the tiles, just make sure you get that little lip to hook on the back of the tile batten. Alright, and just for my final thing, I just want to show you how to silicone a tile. So if you've got no tiles left on the roof or at your house and you have to silicone it to fix it, a lot of people, what they do is they put that piece back in place and then they'll run a bead of silicone over there and rub it in, okay? Now that is mildly effective, but if you really want it to last, the best way to do is whatever's broken, so even if it's cracked across there, whatever's broken, grab it and actually put it on the face of it there. Okay. And then we're going to squeeze it in to whatever needs fixing. Like so. And then if you want, you now put a little bit on the top and just rub it in. Okay. Like so. Now if I left that and it ended up setting, that will last 20-25 years. So you won't have a leak off that for 20-25 years. Whereas if you put it at the top and it folds, it will split and you'll have a leak. So that's the proper way to seal a tile. So if ever you find a cracked tile on the roof and you have to seal it, seal the face edge wherever it's cracked, push it back in and then seal the top. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did and you found it useful, please like and subscribe. And until I see you on the next one, give it a go.